Oh boy, let's get this going. Hello everybody. It is Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central American Time. A minute or two late. Forgive me. We were talking. And this is the Bear Thoughts podcast. We go live every Wednesday, so be sure you can hear live. If you like to chit chat in the chat and ask us any questions. I can turn myself off because I didn't know I had myself hearing. All right, Corvo, welcome to today. How you feeling today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just checking sound. Yep, we're good.
I am also very sleepy, so forgive
Hmm.
me if my brain isn't on peak performance. We're also Corvo is actually using Stealthy's brain right now as well to start him up because we're both in an idle mode apparently.
We're in the funk.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the funk.
Definitely in the
Um,
funk today.
but yeah. No, this week's been pretty good. I mean, the kid had his first practice yesterday. That was pretty good. It's been busy trying to run around, trying to get things figured out, all that kind of stuff.
Now, did now we say your both your kids have now been officially been have seen the field and have seen the grounds and clothing. Have they get all their suits yet, or they are still they?
Soren has all of his stuff. Ethan meets his coach tomorrow and has his first practice, I believe, which is when he's going to get whatever shirt, jersey, whatever they're supposed to get for his.
So okay, have they got pads yet? Helmets?
Yeah, Soren's got all his pads and stuff. Ethan's playing flag, so he probably won't get shoulder pads or anything like that.
Okay, that is kind of true. I don't think I ever played flag football. I played touch football, but never played flag football. So the little string hangs off your hip, right? There's like multiple of them, and all you gotta do is yank one off, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I
yeah.
never.
They usually have like two to a belt, and the little belt hangs around your waist.
Mm-hmm. So, what happens if a kid like yanks one off, but like the nick of it, if his finger just falls off of him, but the kid doesn't actually get to grab it?
He has to grab it. It has to be grabbed. It can't just be knocked off.
Okay, that would be like a really complete, pain in the ass if one falls off. It's like it fell off. You gotta stop, and the kid's still running. Nope, not stopping. Everybody's yelling to stop, and everybody's trying to hope he remember where the heck he was. The flag got knocked off on. That would be annoying. But I've been pretty. I wouldn't say lazy because I have been busy and I've been doing stuff. But I have every time I keep on saying I'm gonna do something, I either fall back and completing the shelf behind me, which I'm almost done, everybody, or I've been reading a lot of manga lately, reading books.
Well, I've been watching a lot of anime because the glorious Stealthy over here has bestowed the honor upon me to have a Crunchyroll subscription.
Ooh,
So me and Crunchyroll been getting good friends.
gotcha. Oh, speaking of watching anime,
Out.
this past week Netflix did release the. I don't know if it's the first or the only. That's the question here. I don't know. Uh, the Witcher anime.
Yeah, I know that they released it. I have not had a chance to watch it. Honestly, I have been sucked into Twin Star Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
So I had me and Twin Star have been spending a lot of time together. Even Stealthy watched a little of it with me, and she said it's very Naruto-ish. The main character, well, no, not that wasn't that one. That was Black Clover that we were watching.
Okay,
She's
Black
like,
Clover. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, she's like it's very Naruto-ish, but she loves Naruto.
Mm-hmm.
I think Black Clover is honestly freaking hilarious.
There are reasons I like Naruto.
Okay.
It's because of how stupid.
Okay. So she wants me to clarify. She likes Naruto because she loves how completely dense Naruto is.
Yeah, they're usually making like that. Usually kids. They are a little bit out the wall, a little crazy, a little forgetful. But don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment down below.
I will say the Twin Exorcist. If you haven't watched it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying it. But man, they are hard up on this theme where they're trying to get these two. Y'all got to get married because y'all are the chosen ones to make the one to end all of this. Y'all got to get it on. And then they're like, we're just trying to save the world. Leave us the fuck alone.
We try to be those kids, not try to make those kids. Yeah, so I did watch the Witcher show, or Witcher anime movie, I guess, because it was like an hour and 30 minutes, so it was pretty much a full-blown movie almost. But I don't know if they're gonna do like a second part of it or not. But
yeah, now that I think about it, I don't remember them whether they said it was going to be an anime as in anime movie or anime as in series.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like how Castlevania was, like the first one was actually a movie and they just split it into 4 parts, right? They kind of like cut it, ended it and started and it started in certain at certain points where it kind of made sense, but it was actually supposed to be one full movie altogether. They did the kind of same thing, but it was just, instead of cutting in parts where they could easily, I could have easily seen it been cut up, because I was like, okay, that could have been an arc right there, that could have been an arc right there, and then blah 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 blah. No, they just slapped all of it together. Went, here you go, 1 hour and 30 minutes or so, and it was, let's just say, it was brutal from the beginning. I mean, The Witcher, the TV show, and the video game had nothing on this anime. It was almost brutal and I would say grotesque, but it was very violent at the very beginning, at the get-go. I mean, first 2 minutes, somebody died. Maybe less, honestly.
Nice.
So, actually wouldn't even first, well, if you don't count like the intro and a little whatever, yeah, it was within the first minute, realistically, someone died. So, and then the animation choreographic was good. The art style is much more anime than Castlevania, because one of the characters' nose, like, sometimes you can't even see the dang thing. Like, you know it's there because there's a shadow.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad, but it just, like, sometimes you're like, where's her nose? And you see a shadow. I'm like, that's what the way they're supposed to describe a nose? With a shadow? Okay, that works, I guess. I don't, my nose is not a shadow, but it definitely has a line to it. So, yeah, it was good. It was good. If you're a fan of the Witcher games, if you're a fan of the Witcher show, you will like this. And don't worry, it's not like a bunch of nudity and other kind of stuff like that. It's just, but it is violent. And you do see one guy's ass. so if that you cut that as nudity, okay, fine, you got me there. But realistically, like, mostly Witcher time, it's always, you see something getting pegged in the video game or in the TV show sometimes. So, but you don't see that in this game or this anime. So, and of course, you finally meet Geralt at some point. You don't know it's Geralt. I didn't know it was Geralt. And then, of course, you follow along with the teacher, or will soon to be teacher,
yes.
Vesemir. Vesemir wasn't always the Vesemir that we come to know and love. Vesemir used to be a bit of a bad boy. They show a bit of how his upbringing was, why he became one, why he wanted to be one, what he did when he had to became one, how he was previously, how he met what eventually is now the main character of The Witcher, and why he is. It wasn't one of the shows that like deviated from the main character either. Like, the main character was the main focus of the show, and I like that. They didn't go and diverse and go and make a whole arc for another character that no one cared about, because they didn't come here for them. They came here for Vesemir, and I appreciate that. Whoever did it understood the material and kept to it. But some of the female characters were badasses. I won't lie. So,
well, I mean, it's Witcher. If there wasn't a badass woman in there somewhere, it wouldn't be Witcher.
yeah. It's like the main villain. I don't want to spoil anything here, but the main villain is a woman.
That doesn't surprise me.
So like, and she's fucking good. She's good. she's of course she's not one of those characters that you love to hate, right? Like you don't really love to hate them because they're so bad. So, but it's not also one of those kind of villains that are like she was almost underwhelming, really. Like other than her being a badass and being powerful and strong, you don't really feel like anger toward her or sympathy for her either. Like you're kind of like, why for her?
Yeah.
That's the question. Like why? And I'm going. I can see it, but I still like the whole why is coming about. Like with you being dumb right now, so let you have at it. It was good. Definitely say go watch it. Hour 30 minutes or so. If anybody here seen the show and like to give your thoughts, leave it down in the comments below. Please, I want to try to stress everybody here. For those who have not already, please leave a comment on this video. Take your time, leave one comment down below. Would really help us out a lot. So, I actually have an anime T-shirt of Black Star Exorcist, and I have yet to see it. Sell me on it. Yeah, I keep hearing people saying it's good, but I have so much on my backlogs of animes I want to watch that I can never keep up or get all of them done. But I've heard good things, but I don't really know. Like I know Blue Exorcist because we both seen that one.
Yep. I'm kind of like I'm going through a list of stuff that I wrote down when I first got the subscription that I was like, been wanting to watch this, couldn't watch it, and trying to get some of that done. I've even went back and revisited a few episodes of Bleach, because there was a couple of things that me and some of the guys were having. Oh, excuse me. Me and some of the guys at work were having discrepancies on. Like the argument about who Ichigo ends up with at the end of the anime, which was really pissing me off because they didn't understand. It's pretty black and white. It's right there from the get go.
Yeah. What's your K? I know a lot of people don't like Bleach because of the all the mid arcs or the filler arcs.
Right.
Did you like the show?
He just married a child.
Right.
For those who don't understand, he marries a childhood, well, not childhood friend, but a friend he's been having for a long time. That's a redhead.
Yep.
And she's not very strong, but she damn she tries.
She'd do anything for Ichigo at any moment, or at least die trying if she has to.
Yeah.
Which doesn't do anything but fuel him even more. Like, honestly, I think the best thing they could have done to turn him into a non-threat would be secretly have gotten rid of her and not let anybody know what happened, because then he would have spent all his time trying to figure it out and wouldn't have known who to be angry at.
Yeah.
But pissing him off and allowing him to know who to be angry at was like taking a fucking grenade launcher, putting it point blank to the target and say, pull the trigger.
Yeah, I can't say the enemies always want to antagonize. They don't always want to very much strategize. And a lot of anime.
Right.
Because you're supposed to know who you're supposed to hate. You're supposed to know who you're supposed to have this frustration and aggravation toward. And you're supposed to have like sympathy and like loving, caring for the characters that's in danger, but also for the one that feels for that character. So they always don't want to keep it very secretized. But in real life, if somebody wants you to go missing because they want to hurt someone else, your ass would just go missing and never know anything about it. Unlike, a certain movie where they have many skills and they will find you and they will kill you.
I don't have a lot of money, but I do have a particular skill set. I will find you and I will kill you.
So in real life, we don't get to always have that sense of comfort. It's like, yeah, I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna find you. Real life's like, I don't know who you are. I hope I can find you. Maybe someday I'll find you, and then maybe find a person I'm looking for, or find them on the bottom of the ditch. Actually, found some YouTube channels out there that people like bring up old cars from the bottom of rivers and stuff like that, and boats and blah blah blah. And every now and then they find lost loved ones, and I'm like, I couldn't do that. I could not do that for a living. Possibly like bring up some cars and vehicles and trying to like clean up lakes and I don't know, maybe sell the cars for scrap. And then possibly find a dead body just floating there inside a vehicle. Could not do that. That would scar me.
Right. Well, just be glad that you hadn't you hadn't lived my life then.
Yeah, seeing dead bodies is not something I particularly want to see.
It'll change your recourse on life, that's for sure.
You like, I don't want to be that dead body, but someday you will be that dead body. Just maybe not maybe the means that you would like it to be, or maybe you will have the control of it. That would be nicer to have control of it. So, other than reading that, I have, like I said, I've been freaking not lazy this week, but I have been stalling, and I have not done a single dang thing with my resin I bought last week. They are still all in the box, waiting to be opened for a video. I haven't done anything on that video. Not a thing. I've been very dismotivated this week. I've been very dismotivated. Something maybe kind of upset and maybe very annoyed, and I couldn't very much even stream this past week very much because I've been so annoyed and upset about a few things and how life has been going for me in general. Like just yesterday, we had to fix my truck. Cost us around $300.
Jesus.
Because we kind of stalled on changing my vehicle's brakes, and the brakes ate into my rotaries, and that cost around $300 to fix it plus brakes.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
So you held off on changing your brakes?
Yeah, I didn't want to, but there was someone else in the household that didn't think it was very important to get it done when I said it was important to get it done. And I went to go driving around one day and I'm like, yeah, this is getting worse, honey. We got to get this done. If I had to pay for it myself, in full, I will. And then she's like, okay. And then we go there. It's like, oh yeah, it's not gonna be what you think. You need more. And I'm like, yeah, I can't afford that. Like we have savings and all like that, so we're good. But
Right.
That was savings for something else in our life that we're hoping to use it for. That is not going to happen just yet now because that's $300 out of our pockets.
That's the way that shit happens, though, man. There's always something.
Well, I'll just say, I have a feeling like when something needs to be done, it needs to get done sooner than later. Get it done now before it gets worse. But the problem is, it's hard to tell someone that when they're like, yeah, I'm trying to save every dollar and penny I got, right? Save $1. They're trying to save every dollar and penny they got for every moment, and it's like, well, this has got to get done, or it's gonna cost you in the end.
Yeah. So the downside is you saved that dollar then, but then you ended up expending more dollars later.
Yeah. So, lesson learned here, folks. Get things done when they need to get done, even if it costs you money. Don't be a tight ass, cause that ended up costing us more than it probably should have. Should have just cost us, breaks and then been done with it.
Sounds familiar, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I've done it once or twice.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to tell someone, it's like, hey, we need to get this done. We need to get this done. We need to get this done and get it done and get it done. Oh, look, it's too late. It's very uncomfortable when it's the too late and you're just staring like, yeah, we.
I gotta say I told you so.
Yeah, it's that. It's that.
I said I don't need to hear it. I don't have to hear it. I told you.
So, Yeah, that sucked, and it's been a number of things. It's been a very just motivating week for sure. From like I would say from last Wednesday to this Wednesday, I call it like my week. And my week really for me feels like starts on Wednesday because podcast day.
Right.
And of course it's also the first day I start my streams as well on my Twitch channel. So it very much feels like my beginning of my week. Feels like my Monday.
I wish my Monday started with our podcast instead of what it does.
Does any of your coworkers still watch this?
Yep. Todd watches it pretty religiously.
Todd, leave a comment, you dick. Seriously,
Right now he's probably looking at me in the left-hand corner of the screen going, but hey, I've gotten him to play in Genshin too, although he has to play it on his phone and he's pissed because his phone overheats.
But say like, I thank you for all the things you can get. You are helping me with my personal technology needs. But if you need to throw some his way to install,
I'm already on it. I'm already on it.
Because a 4-man group would be great. Let me just be honest here. A 4-man group would be nice.
I'm on it. It's laying beside the one I showed you earlier, waiting for it to take up arms and
empower his force.
She said, "Don't doubt her Genshin power. She knows what she's doing." I ain't gonna lie though, with her help, one of my characters has
ascended.
It's been exposed to gamma radiation.
Well, especially with this week going on with the event of the myths, right? With the double XP scrolls. I've been taking advantage of that every single day.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. Why is like it's limited. Like you can only do so many times and it's like stop. It's like
you can do it 3 times.
I was like, no. I wanted like if I want to use all my stars on this thing, let me use all my stars. Come on. I need a lot of them. Well, I want a lot of them because I'm trying to get up 2 more healers stronger. I'm trying to get Bennett stronger because he's my only fire healer I got, and try to get Archer Girl stronger because she's my only ice one I got for healers. I'm trying to get them up there so they can like I can go. Oh well, I can actually use them for for combat reasons and their healers. I might switch to them. Which I yet to play Bennett's story. I need to play Bennett's story.
I got lucky and got me a orange book the other day, so I'm working on getting it powered up, and I'm going to give it to my Yanfei so she can have a little bit of in them fire attacks.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice. Especially if it's a legendary. So, you said you got your new character.
No, it wasn't that I got a new character. It's that one of my characters ate a whole lot of Wheaties.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so you just brought her up. Is your wife still the same, or is it questionable now?
My waifu. I would say that this character wouldn't be my waifu. She would be like the adopted daughter I wanted.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Cause she's too polite for me to try to go there. And she's just like so well behaved. I just can't.
I can't corrupt you. No,
I can't do it.
Well, that's not what you said when you met me.
Well, hey, I tried. Damn you! I tried not to corrupt you. You got to clarify. I tried not to corrupt you. Okay, for stream's knowledge, I honestly tried to talk this lady out of all of this. And yes, thankfully she didn't listen to this dumbass.
And then you brought me around your friends.
And she did it anyway.
Apparently one of my co-workers' husbands got COVID now. Be careful out there, folks. The new one is going around. Isn't no joke.
My kids got told that they had to quarantine technically.
Because
exposure at school, but they didn't get it. They ain't had no symptoms or nothing. They even had a damn fever.
Gotcha.
But they were, according to what they call exposure
I didn't know the
regulations, they were within 6 feet of someone that had it and could have possibly come into contact with them. So they sent us a message as a heads up: if your child starts showing any symptoms, keep them the hell at home.
Yeah.
But they've not even had a damn fluctuation in their temperature.
Gotcha. Okay. So, and of course, my wife, she works at a hospital, so she sees all kinds of people. Apparently, people. I'm not trying to be in. This not again. It's not a political thing, so we're not going to be saying, "Oh, this is political." It's not a political thing. She worked at a hospital. This is just truth. There's people that are getting COVID that has been fully vaccinated. So you are not safe, even if you are fully vaccinated, which I am. Not fully. I got my next shot.
You're
My second
safer
shot.
than someone who's not.
Safer, but the new one doesn't actually stop you from the new variation. Does not. It's not protected by the COVID shot.
Ironically, it would have if everybody had been vaccinated.
Yeah, if everybody would have, but no one did. It evolved. It became I wouldn't say super version. It just changed.
No, basically, what happens is if you don't get vaccinated, it does exactly what you said. It evolves. But on top of that, because there's more vaccinations, but there's not enough, because the unvaccinated people are still out there, they're the ones that get it first and then pass it to the vaccinated one.
Yeah, so whatever way went out, it's too late now. So the cat's out of the bag. Just be careful out there.
Yep.
And don't get the new one yet, because the new one has not been. It was rushed to be approved, but it was not officially approved just yet. So careful with that one as well. My wife's telling me there's some people that has some brain clots and heart clots because of it, and people have been dying because of it.
Yep.
So careful out there. So other than that, I finally finished up Mona. Mona is completely done. Got her done. She looks great. I got the eyes the way I wanted to. The clothes is done, so that was fully done. My next one I'm gonna probably do is Jean. So I want to get her printed out. Looking forward to doing Jean. So
We figured out something though.
What?
We figured out whoever is gifting you guys those prints has to be in my stream.
Has to be yours.
Has to be in her stream apparently, because there was a model that I mentioned, but I never mentioned it on podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And that technically I didn't mention it
And-
either, but I mentioned the character that he was referring to.
And now there's a couple of more models in our drive.
You need to share them. You know that.
They're already there. They're already there. There is a Ning Wong and a Kamisato.
Man, I'm bad with names. I don't remember none of those characters.
Geomage and Miss Sakura Swirl.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I like Geomage. She's nice. The figurine that I would like to have of her is like $500 though, but I'll take a 3D print version of her.
Yeah.
And
then they've got Kamisato, Sakura Swirl. Actually has her doing her hand up like this.
and a bunch of the swirls around it.
Well, it doesn't have the swirls around it because I don't know where they got it from for sure, but it does have her in the pose like she had flipped her fan up.
Okay, because I did see a 3D file out there. It's actually like $7 or $8. I was thinking about picking it up later on, but it had like a bunch of the swirls around her. But the problem is I don't know the swirls are separate, because I would definitely want to print that in a different color. Like that's just like that would be like a must-have print in different color, different.
But yes, both of those models are in our little favorite place.
Well, which one? The one that we share videos, or when we share 3D files? Because we
3D files.
We kind of crossbreed on that one. All right, I'll check that out afterwards. So, you finally get to print. You finally get to buy your part for your printer.
Yep.
Now, how long did they say it's gonna take?
7 to 10 days.
7 to 10 days, and it's coming from where again? I'm sorry.
China.
7 to 10 days.
Yep.
From China.
It's already made it all the way to their export facility for the country.
Did you export it?
No, I ordered it Friday. It was at the export facility to leave the country yesterday.
And it's 7 to 10 days. I have
Yep.
never bought anything, whether on purpose or an accident, from China. I got in 7 to 10 days.
I have. I've done it a couple of times, but
You are
um,
lucky.
I think the reason this one's moving so fast is because it's actually coming from Chutebox itself. You know, the people that made the software we use,
Yeah.
and they're based there, so they keep this stuff on hand, and they're used to shipping to the States, so they know exactly what they need to do to get it to move.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, as soon as it gets here, I'll install that and get this bad boy up and going again. I've got a tiara that I need to print for someone at work. And then as soon as the tiara is printed, I'm going to pick one of the Genshin models or either print the model I had made, one of the two.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to seeing the model you made for the stands for the Pokeballs.
Yeah, I will, as soon as I finish them, I will put them in the folder. The stand's kind of cool. What I did was I took a square block, for lack of a better term,
Mm-hmm.
and took the sphere and made it into a hole so that it would be subtracting material, and just sat it in the square block and purposely had the block smaller than the ball so that it actually cut out little divots
Mm-hmm.
in it around.
Yeah.
And then in the base part where it didn't go down, I took where I had the measurements previously for those little lights that I use,
Mm-hmm.
made a hole of it and stamped it right in the middle of the bottom of it so that when you sit it on there, the light shines up through the ball.
So, just the lights you use, are they cord powered or battery powered?
All right, so they're battery powered.
All right.
The one I have currently, you have to turn it on and off manually.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones I'm looking to get, it'll probably be a while before I get them. But they are battery powered also, but they use a remote, just like our light strips.
Okay. Well, I have that. I don't know if you remember that I've got for the Mega Man that's literally right there. Had that one battery cord thing that's like they're batteries, but you put them in the machine and it's a really thin ribbon that comes out of the battery spot and you can plug a cord up to it. So when I turn on this lights, all of it turns on. So if I were to get your little thing, I'd probably just buy me a one to have out there that you could have like 3 of them on one cord. I'd probably buy that since I have 3 Pokeballs, and then plug all them up or put all them inside, turn it on, and leave it on. And then when I turn it off, all of it would go off, and when I turn it on, all of it would go on. Because I like to have it all like one easy, just push, everything illuminates.
Right. Well, my idea behind finding the ones that had the remotes that could be controlled individually was if somebody did decide they wanted one and I was going to make it and give it to them, they wouldn't have all my stuff here. So you could put it up on the shelf and be sitting in there and just click your button and your Pokeball light up. And the way I designed it, you're still able to pick the Pokeball up off the stand. It won't be lit up in your hand because the light is actually in the base, but you can still pick it up, feel it, look at it and everything, sit it back on the base, and the base lights it up.
Yeah, I would probably put it myself if I get it done, probably like right up here, and have all 3 of them like lined up so all of them would be glowing and being pure view of everybody else to see. And see why it's so nice.
I have also been working on your other little project that you asked about.
The ball?
Yes.
Okay, how far you got to that? Because I'm curious.
I've got the shell completely done. The base, honestly, for the Pokeballs works perfect for that ball as well.
Spherical. Bless you.
So that's done. I have designed the star. I am working on how I want to go about suspending it.
Spending it?
Suspending it in the center.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So, what's your thoughts?
So there's a couple of ways we could do that. We could do it kind of like we talked about last time, where you print out the shell and in 2 halves, and you would then clean it, cure it, and then pour some resin in it, and do like kind of semi-cure to where it's kind of almost gelatin-like on one side.
Yeah.
Stick star in there, finish curing it, do the same thing on the other side, get it semi, stick them together, and then finish curing it, you can do that.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to use any resin at all if you do something I'm thinking about doing, which is I am toying with printing a clear print of a bracket that'll be ultra thin
Mm,
that the star will fit into. They can go from top to bottom there, so that once you put it together, you don't really see the bracket because the bracket's clear. You
yeah.
just see the star.
Gotcha. Because if I would print it, I probably would have printed it in solid, to be honest with you, because like I want some heft to it.
Well, I mean, and you can do that if you do the other, if you fill it with the resin like we were talking about. But
Mm,
if you decide you want to save some resin, if you have the option to make the little bracket,
yeah.
that would be nice too. Plus, if you make the little bracket, I might go back later and make a modification where that little bracket also has an LED on it.
Okay, so you try to glow from the inside?
Yep.
That would be tricky. Not letting the cord being shown, but I imagine there's a way. If there's a will, there's a way.
Yep.
So,
So-
have you printed any parts you actually made yet, like on your 3D CAD or whatever it's called?
Yeah, I printed a couple things.
Okay, you have it. You don't have those on hand, right?
No, I don't have any right here, but like the arm for the cleaner,
Yeah.
I printed that myself. I designed and printed it myself. It had quarter 20. I even put quarter 20 bolt threads on the end of it so that I could print. I don't have it right here, but somewhere around here, I printed a knob that screwed down on it so that you could slide your bed up on it.
Yeah.
And screw it down just like you do on your printer.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. There's a couple other things I've done. I'm trying to think. I've done so much that I can't even remember what all I've done.
Because the other day I was watching a YouTube video of a guy that was making 3D files like you were, and he made like a fidget spinner out of it. It was like a Ninja Star fidget spinner, which was really cool. But you know, you don't really see a lot of people like people making the files for 3D printing. That's pretty much apparent. But you don't ever get that feeling, at least I do, as a person that just prints. I never get the feeling of that satisfaction of actually going and actually making the 3D files and then printing it. Like that must feel.
That's why the Corvo mask is so important. That's why I haven't been printed yet. Why I keep messing with it, because when I print it, I want it to be right because it's what I made.
Yeah. Like it
feels
satisfying.
Granted, I'm taking inspiration from like 3 other different masks that I've seen, throughout games and animes and shit like that. But it's still my creation because nobody else has put these parts together like this, merged them, shaved them, tweaked them the way I'm doing it. So I want my baby to be right,
Gotcha. You still need to put that one file that you got made done on a site so you can try and maybe like make a little bit of income.
I keep forgetting to do that too.
So you can
there's something I was going to talk to you about on that too. So the file is hollow, so it saves you resin.
Okay, file is hollow, but you can make it solid if you want to.
Right, but here's the thing. I'm trying to decide whether I want to make it solid or not because I could possibly print her in clear and stick one of those lights in a base. And put her over it.
Okay, so when you say hollow, depends on how hollow, which would make me worried because if it's like a video game model, I'm sure you've seen some video game models before, right?
Yeah.
You can literally see the back of their skull and see where their tongue and eyes are.
It ain't like that. It's not like that.
Okay, and then there's hollow.
The only way you know it's hollow is if you actually turn the model and look from the bottom up. You can see it's hollow.
Yeah, but
like, the outer skin is completely solid.
Yeah, but how thick is the outer skin?
I think she did like 1.5, 2 millimeters.
Okay, let's say like if it's thin, like some 3D models out there, not 3D models, well, regular 3D models and 3D printing models, they are significantly different because of how they're either a solid where it's like a rock just made in 3D form, or it's like a pretty much a as I call it, a seashell, where it's hollow on the outside, very thin, but the inside of it is completely empty and void of
Hey, so
space.
for me, I'm gonna have to do something a little different too if I decide to do the light base for it,
Mm-hmm.
because the detail that she did is so detailed and it's done in such a high mesh rate that the normal program I use, I can't even import it into it. It's like, no, I'm sorry, this shit's too complex for me.
Might do sit in my way, but yeah, let's see if I can maybe at least get it printed and see how it
I mean,
looks.
I can print it. Shootbox will open it and slicing it. But the program I usually use when I import the model into the program so that I can build the base around it,
Mm-hmm.
that program's the one saying, "No, this shit's too complicated."
Oh, okay. Well, that's weird. Have you tried Mesh Mixer?
That's the next one on my hit list to try it in. I've tried it in a couple of things, and so far it's been like, hey, look, this shit's really complex and it's high detailed, and no, we can't do that.
Because I know Mesh Mixer does have a we talked about it last week on last week's podcast, the taking a model and using it as it's extraction from another object.
Yeah, you basically make it as a negative so that you can
That's
stamp
the word
the
I was
other
looking for.
object.
Yeah,
Yeah.
negative. So it does have that function negativity to it. So you can use it, but the problem is you get like one of their already pre-made, I guess you would call it pre-made objects, put it into it, slice it down to a platform, and then take your print or your model and use it as a negative and then subtract from it. It probably would be good because I would want to put it down on the shelf and then it just falls forward because there's literally nothing inside of it. It's like, hey, pantsu? No pantsu. Empty.
Yeah.
It's like, that sucks. I thought she would do legs at least, but I guess not.
Well, no, I mean, you can't see legs. If you look at the reference images, you don't even see legs in the game. Her gown goes to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing there. So there's, either you make it solid or you make it a hole.
I guess when she made the 3D model, she only made the torso and arms. She didn't use like a full rigged body and then form around it. I guess maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think she built it strictly off the images.
I would like to see it made.
It looks good. It looks really good. It's just that either I'm going to have to make it solid or else I'm going to have to make a base for it.
All right. Well, that's going to be another struggling thing. So, I did see a video this week. Remember last week we were talking about recycling. So I sent you a video of a guy that took a I guess you would call it pretty essentially a Pepsi bottle and made 3D filament out of it. Did you see that?
Yeah, I seen it.
Okay, so for everybody here, I'll bring up the video here shortly so y'all can see it to a point. But I think it turned out really well, but it's a little bit of work. So he had I guess he made all this stuff himself, but he cut down the bottle in like a really long, like he constantly turned it and cut it in little tiny strips or a little tiny, like a continuous strip of the bottle, and then put it through a heating nozzle with a certain diameter, and then just pulled it with another device while it's heating it up and melting it. But it doesn't have like a problem is with it doesn't have a, what was it called when like you're checking how thick it is?
He doesn't have a mic on it.
Well, yeah, but like
a caliper.
Yeah, caliper. So you couldn't tell how thick it's going to be when it printed out. If you pull it too fast, you'll make it too thin. You pull it too slow, it'll be probably too thick. So he didn't have that, but it printed. I was captivated by the video. I'm go ahead and show it here for everybody to look at it while it's going. So I'm gonna mute it while it's playing. But I think this is pretty much like we were talking about earlier, or the past week or so. But he didn't use no cooling thing. He expanded it for some reason. I don't understand the expansion with the air thing first, but then later on he takes it and use some some fire to. Let me try to expand it here. He put it on like a drill, and he heated up on a oven to, I guess, get the plastic to expand a little bit more. I'm like right now he's putting over a fire, and I think this is like okay. I don't think this is very practical. Let me just say like that. Like I don't think everybody here every day, man, could just go off and do this. You know, not a thing. I think you need a little bit of ingenuity, a little bit of a know-how to do this. But and then I watched another video where somebody actually apparently there's some people out there trying to make some 3D printing stuff out there for people to make models. But we're talking about that a little bit later on. And then he just cuts the end off, and then he starts.
Okay. So the reason he put the air in it is so that when the air heated, it expanded the plastic over the heat.
Okay, gotcha. And he starts just start cutting little tiny, just little strips of it all the way around, which I bet took forever to do, because I couldn't do this by hand. Like I would need a machine that I could just pull and it just cuts for me. Because I don't know if he does or not. I watched the whole video earlier. I think he does actually. Hey, they're right there. Forget. Yeah, right there. There's a little cut down there. He's just pulling it now. So yeah, I think like this right here is another reason why 3D printing could be very much be useful in the future, rather than just taking a bottle and just saying, "Hey, it's wasteful trash. Just throw it in the garbage or throw it in a recycling bin." Just go and turn it into 3D filament. Here's right now, he's pulling it through the heat nozzle, and let's go, print something out that I need from it. And he's like all this man-made machine back here, so this is definitely like a homemade stuff, and this part right here is homemade because it's literally looks like the heat nozzle from a 3D printer, and he just pulls it through and starts making filament out of it. I would love to do that with some of my bottles from my home, or some of the things that I have plastic of. It's like, hey, I don't want a sea turtle to eat it. I'm gonna make the filament out of it. But yeah, he has no way of gauging how thick that stuff is. But it prints. It prints in the end, so I guess it's a good thing. There's all the filament there that he's pulling out. I guess I don't know why he's doing this. I would have left it on the spool, whatever it was, or at least got something that could hold a spool. And yeah, sure enough, it started printing. So yeah, I would love to have this done with other stuff out there. But there's another video out there that I did see of a guy taking old 3D prints and as we talked about last week, like crushing them up in little tiny pieces. And then there's like a two-part machine. There was one machine that had those teeth that like rotate in a circle, right, and like crushes, right? And then below it was another tiny grinder that normally grinds into little tiny shards below it, like a normal paper shredder. So that was pretty interesting watching that. But you had to figure out how to separate if you had any ABS or any other, wood filament or metal filament within his collection of 30 fails. But also the other 3D printer usually takes pellets. You know what I'm talking about? Little plastic pellets that normally they add color to it. Well,
right.
It only supposed to take that because it can easily flow down into the tube. Well, he had to like engineer it where there was like a lot of vibrator inside of it, and every now and then it would vibrate to loosen up the I guess these shredded up shards of 3D plastic, and it would go fall down into it, and it had a I don't have the video, that's what I'm just trying to describe here. It had a what's the word for it? A sensor on both sides to gauge how thick the 3D filament's coming out. So if you didn't pull it too thick or too thin, and had like 2 blowers at the top too to cool it down really fast. It was 2-part machines. They're still working on it though, because like they were showing the graphs on like how much the filament size would vary from the 1.75 or 1.7 thickness or depth of it. I think it's very, very telling of what could come. But I would like that to have that now rather than later, because honestly, I think that's a very good thing to have.
I mean, this isn't. I mean, this isn't too complicated, honestly. It can be
Well,
done.
yeah, like I would like to know though, like how could you do in a more what's the way for it saying it, like a more optimal way of shredding up 3D prints without having a bunch of like just shards and different depth of them, and you have to make sure like some of them are just small enough to be turned back into put into a spool and pull it through a nozzle to become a full-on filament. How would you can make it more precise, and then how much it shreds up, and how big the chunks are, and how you maybe can, if you could, turn them back into little balls, because balls would be way easier to work with than little tiny chunks, or I guess you call it like more like sand of old 3D printed prints into what essentially what I would call sand or wood chunks. I don't know. I like the devices. I'm sure each one of them costs probably like $500 a piece, and that's not really something that an average day man like myself can do. But also, if I could figure out a way of like melting old resin prints back into resin, that'd also be pretty nice. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
That's a whole different ball game there, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Well, it can melt. I know it can melt. Just problem is melting it back into a liquid would be hard, and I'm sure not very fume friendly. You watching that video very, very intently. Your brain is just ticking.
You know me, I like to build shit, and I'm looking at it going, I know where to get most of that shit.
So yeah, it's definitely cool. I would like to be able to just take some, like, let's say like, oh, you got some soda, or oh, you got some to go food, and they came in those big old clear bin, like containers, or you bought some groceries, and inside it's in the plastic, hard plastic. You just put in a shredder or whatever and let it shred it up in pieces, and then drop into something like that, and then have it pull it out into a spool. That'd be nice, because I doubt you could take every single one of them and just cut into a nice thin strip all the way around and feed it through. Like, it's not gonna happen every single time.
Well, I mean, it depends. There is a way to guarantee how thick that strip is, and a much easier way to cut it. It's just he hadn't gotten to that point yet, but I guarantee he'll get there.
Yeah, very, very clever guy. If anybody wants to know about the YouTuber, he's called MR3D Print. So if you want to watch any of his other stuff, go right ahead. There's another guy out there, like I said, does a lot of 3D print recycling, which I love him. He's doing something to actually improve this hobby. Then hopefully it's not a hobby for too much longer, because the way the advancements are going, hopefully it's become a little more mainstream. I would love it to become more mainstream. So at what point do you feel that the average man can maybe make that, or do you feel like they,
Well, thing. So if he refined it a little bit, average man wouldn't have to make it. They could buy the unit to make it to do it for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what he did is he took a hot tip nozzle, because that was the closest way to get it to the right thickness.
Yeah.
And he hooked it up, figured out what kind of voltage it took to get it to what kind of temperature he needed for it to melt it.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side over there, he hooked up a little motor and made a couple of gears at different sizes so that he got the right speed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you can figure out what speed you need it at, and you can design the gears to where it's only going to turn that speed. So that's fine. And then he just turns it on and he lets it pull it through. And as far as his little deal on cutting the bottle into the strip, if he'd have took and hooked up a motor on the other end of that thing, just like he had on his machine pulling it through the hot tip,
Yeah.
and hooked it onto a roll, he had a blade
Gotcha.
fixed so that when it come through there, the blade sliced it. He just turned it on and it rolled it right off for him.
Okay, that'd be nice. I would imagine that if to be able to do some of the thicker stuff, you would have a veritable of nozzles, like one thicker, and then goes to the next one thinner, and next one thinner, and next one thinner, to be able to really like take thicker materials through it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not so much as it's not so much as how thick it is as far as in millimeters in thickness. Like if you turn it up on edge like a piece of paper, look at it.
Yeah.
It's more about how wide the strip is, and if you fix your blade to only cut it so thick when it's ribboning it off, you don't have to do that.
Okay. So well, I was mostly thinking about like if you're taking something that's a little harder to cut, let's say a less spiritual, what's the word for it? Rounded. There's another word for it.
Spherical?
Yeah, and more box. Would be a little harder to cut into little strips, and then pull through with that great of ease.
With that, you use you can use a bandsaw to cut a box type thing into strips.
A bandsaw?
Yeah.
You're a little extreme.
No. Just take the bandsaw. And cut it. And if you're smart, you'll lead in on one end. You'll push and you won't go all the way through. You'll stop. You'll turn it and you'll go, and you'll turn it and you'll go, and eventually what you're going to end up with is a tall, long wall. And then you do it again. You lay it down flat. You turn it. You just keep going. Eventually, you end up with the same strip that you get with the device he had for his sphere.
Okay. It'd be definitely a lot of manual work for getting the filament, which I'm sure a lot of people out there is like, I'd rather just have an automatic system that would just do it for me. But again, a lot of the filament makers out there, they use little tiny pebbles to make filament, and it's really hard to take something that's already been flattened and shaped to turn into pellets. So they have to grind them up.
Yeah, you can say that, but the other side is if you take let's say you got a square block of plastic and you sit it inside of a machine. There's already a machine out there built to break stuff like that down.
Yeah.
It's called a blaster. And if you hit it with ceramic beads like you do metal, it'll tear that block into itty bitty little pieces. And then you just collect those pieces because your ceramic beads are a specific size, so there's a filter for them to fall through. But it will not let the other material fall through because it's larger. Yeah. And then you just dump that into a vat to melt down, and then pour that through something that has the hot tip on it, and have something to catch it and turn it on the other end.
I would say, like, I wonder if you could take some of that plastic and put it in a mold and have the mold turn the plastic into a bunch of little tiny beads or pebbles, and then let's say take it out, shake it, the pebbles all fall out, and then take the rest of that, crumble it back together, do it again, and then keep on turning them into little tiny pellets so they'd be easier to form together or go through the extruder better than little shards of plastic. Because like I said, this device that I saw online was definitely taking supposed to be taking pebbles when it was taking charge is a little harder because it can get clogged. Sometimes the pebbles won't fall at the same the shards won't fall at the same rate. So
that's why you
thickness.
that's why you put a weight at the top of the barrel to
Mm.
put pressure on them going down. It forces them through at the same rate.
Okay, so he didn't do that. He just put a shaker in there and just shook it every now and then, just to unclog it. Well, it shook every like 30 seconds or every 15 seconds. I forget how long it was, but it was timed and it kept on doing it without him being there. So
Well, I mean, the idea, the principle is like, think about squeezing something out of a tube.
mhm.
If you put equal pressure when you're pressing on it steadily towards the end on the nozzle, you get a nice even flow. It's the same principle. You put all your beads or shards in a bucket and put a weight on the top of it, equally distributed across all your shards.
Mhm.
It's going to force it down through the nozzle at an equal flow.
I would imagine you probably would need um a device to keep it expended or keep it at the same keep it leveled while it was pushing down on it, or the weight being pushed on it. But same
I
time, like,
mean,
would you have a weight that had a force behind it, like some kind of a magical arm that pushes it downwards,
no,
or would you
no,
let the
you
weight
don't want to
beads?
do that. You do not want to have anything pushing the weight because you're going to cause clogs. Because now you're not just usually simply using the weight as something to make gravity pull.
Mm,
Now you're literally pushing. You're forcing instead of allowing it to flow naturally.
gotcha. So you need to make sure though, like when it goes down, let's say whatever tube like object, you would need to make something like on some kind of rails so it didn't it fell the same side, didn't fall like one side too much or other side, it would just fall at the same.
Yeah, yeah.
So you couldn't very much just take a little bit of a have an arm weight, so like an arm weight like this and just drop it down and go, all right, good enough. Because
No.
it might lean to one side or another. Oh, okay. So I like it. I'm hoping it comes out with the next year. The other guy's device, it looked cool. It just looked expensive as all get out, and I'm hoping someone out there that's smart and have the finances to actually fully function and make one that a average Joe like me and him can just buy without having to pay an arm and a leg. Because I have a full, like, not no joke, a full laundry bag of fell prints, and it's almost filled to the brim. I'm talking about it's like up to my shoulders tall of just prints that failed over the years.
Yep.
And I would love to recycle all that. We have a NASA near us that apparently did 3D printing for a while and had a device they made that to recycle a lot of the 3D print, and I was hoping they would do it, and then they don't do it no more. I'm like, dang it. I was hoping to bring it to them. They're like, hey, I don't want it. I don't care. Just recycle it, please. Let me feel good about my hobby that I don't have all this plastic just stored up in my place with nothing to do with it.
Yeah, see, I'm lucky I have children, so they want my failed prints to play with. They don't care.
I'll make imagination out of it, Daddy. I don't care.
I'm gonna take this decapitated figurine that didn't turn out, and I'm gonna say he's a headless zombie. Watch him go! Roar!
Roar. I'm hoping to have my resin video done within this week. I gotta get off my ass and do that. It's just, everybody out there doesn't maybe understand this. Corey, you probably can maybe understand this. You actually worked on the video. It sucks when you make a video and it worked so many hours on it and barely get anybody looking at it.
Yep.
It does, and it's very demotivating that I've worked so hard in some videos, and some of my videos I worked less hardest on done really well, and some videos I worked very hard on and have little to show for it. So, do me a favor, leave a comment down below. Have you ever had that problem before? Like, you're a YouTuber, how do you deal with it? It's very, very hard and it's very dismotivating. And I've listened, apparently streaming is also like, it's part of the things that like I said, it's very hard to do and you enjoy so much and try to have so much fun with it. And you feel like you're doing so well, and then you're like, I don't even want to see the statistics after my streams anymore. Like, I don't want to see it at all. But every time I go to my emails, like, hey, do you want to see how well you did on your stream today? It's like, no, I don't, actually. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. But apparently, some big names out there are also, like, having troubles with streaming of lately. So it's not just the small guys out there. Apparently, two big names out there by Asmon Gold and Pokimane are both thinking about quitting streaming.
Wow.
And they have millions of followers, literally millions. And both of them are thinking about quitting streaming because they're so overburdened by it. Like, could you imagine? Try to put yourself in their shoes, having a millions of followers watch you do something online. Could you step away from that?
I don't know. It depends. It depends on what it's affecting, I guess. If it's affecting my family life, my ability to function with my family, or it's affecting my personal health, yes. If it's not, then I probably couldn't.
Well, one of them is just like they're losing the passion for it. Right now, there's a bit of a dry spell in video games, apparently. I don't think there really is. I'm having a lot of fun in Genshin Impact, and I can't stress why I'm having fun. Of course, Diablo 2, I get to play that last week. Probably playing some more of that tonight or tomorrow or whatever. I'm having a lot of fun playing those games. I don't think I have a dry spell, but also, like, people always... I hate to say this, but it's kind of the truth. People always try to look for the worst for people, the worst in people. Like, they try to look for the worst for people, and if they can't find it, they'll make it up.
Yep.
Or they'll find something that you say that really is not offensive.
And make it offensive.
Like, that triggered me, or that was incorrect, or I don't feel like you should be saying that, or you believe in this, therefore ergo you must also believe in this, or you like this person, so ergo that you must be just like them or have their same views. It's like, I don't have to have the same views. Me and Corvo, we like each other. It doesn't mean I have the same views as Corvo, and Corvo has the same views as me.
Nope. We have disagreed before. I'm sorry, I was slightly distracted by the speed at which this clicking was happening beside me. I don't think I've heard Mach 10's clicking before, but damn it, shit was rolling over here.
So I could look with Asmon Gold, like he says he might be quitting streaming because, like, people out there are trying to pretty much make a mountain out of a molehill. And also, like, he doesn't believe in, because this past week some people were out there were trying to start up this, I guess, start up this, call to arms to people to stop streaming on September the 1st. Don't stream on September the 1st. Everybody. He wants, and then this group of people wants everybody to stop streaming on September the 1st, to send a message to Twitch. And he's like, you're not big enough to do that. You're a bunch of small 20 view Andes, as he put it. You're not big enough to actually bring a real impact to Twitch. And even if I were to help you do that, let him himself stop streaming for one day, I'm not enough. There has to be more people that are big like me to do it too. And if I do it, I'm really hurting myself, because, like, it's gonna hurt me financially. I'm gonna be losing out, and I'm gonna be doing this stuff like that. So I'm not gonna do it. Like, if you get some much bigger names other than myself to do it, I'll be your champion. Sure, I'll go right at it. But otherwise, I'm not gonna listen to try to help out 20 viewer or less Andes out there that really won't make an impact on Twitch. And I kind of agree. What you think?
Like this, making a stand is good. Stand up for what you believe in, but you have to also realize when you're doing that where you are in that stand. If 40 people with 20 viewers don't stream that day, Twitch ain't gonna really notice it, because all the people that have millions of viewers are still streaming. That was his point.
Mm-hmm.
For me to risk losing that income that day, I need to know that we're actually going to make an impact.
Yeah.
That's all he was trying to say. He wasn't trying to say that he didn't support them in their views and all, but he was trying to point out, for me to take that hit, I need to know that what we're doing is actually going to do something.
Yeah. And
If not, we need to not do this until we can make that impact.
yeah, and most time when people complain about something or set up for something, let's just be honest here. How long does it usually last? It's like, I set up for this. It's normally like a week or so, and it's gone. It's disappeared, and it's really hard to really have something to keep that momentum going, right? Like, once you push it down the hill, it doesn't always keep on rolling. Sometimes it's a very, very small hill, and if it's a molehill, it ain't gonna go very far. So it's like he doesn't like that kind of that brigading. I forget what he described it, but it's like it's your attention span to fight for this thing or complain about this thing is so small that it's not even worth it. Like we gotta go all the way and go all the way and keep on going until we get what we are fighting for, not just complain about the one subject matter and then the next week everybody forgot about it. It's a blip in memory. It's there and gone.
Yeah, he's looking for the commitment.
Yeah.
Basically, if it's a one-day stand, it ain't gonna do shit except aggravate people that are trying to actually make the money.
Yeah. And what about those 20 viewer Annies that are still trying to push it and try to make it and try to get somewhere, and they're told to just stop. Well, that one day, maybe just one day, but that one day and a bunch of other people stop. Me?
It could have been the 100 raid that was coming in, or the 1,000 raid, or whatever.
Yeah, it could be that one day. Could have been that one day, or let's say I stop and a bunch of other people stop, but another 20 Annie don't stop. They go stream. Well, now they have potential to be discovered.
Yeah, because now all those viewers are looking for somebody to watch.
And honestly, if a bunch of big streamers out there would stop all at one time in one day, it would help out a lot of the small streamers because they literally hold the 90% of viewers on Twitch. That's just the truth of the matter. They hold the majority because they're the top 10% or top 1%. So that would help, but they're not going to stop. Why would they honestly stop? Like, unless there's, like I said, unless there's actually something really worth to push and forward and get and try to make a stand for, and more than one person does it, they're not going to all stop in one day. And honestly, if I was a 100,000 viewer streamer and a bunch of other 100,000 viewer streamers stopped, honestly, I don't know if I would stop, just because then I know I'm about to get all those other viewers now. Because who else to get to watch? Maybe some small ones out there, but I'm still one of the biggest ones out there for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's if I wanted to be petty, but it's just human nature.
Yep, I agree.
So you think you would stop if it was just for that, but would you stop because of people like bashing you for not wanting to make a stand?
No. Because I'm very much one of those people that, I mean, you can say what you want to say, do what you want to do. That's fine. You do you. But when it comes down to the end of the day, I'm going to do what I want to do, not what you want me to do. And if I choose that I'm going to continue to go, then I'm going to continue to go, and I'm just going to tune you out with your bitching and moaning and your crying and wailing over in the corner.
Okay, so let me ask you this, and this is more of a social thing than anything else. Let's just say you have an art, and your art is streaming.
Yes.
And from where you do your art at, where you do your performance and stuff like that, but the art that you made or your art you do was the person that did it or made it or whatever, so you could do that, was doing maybe some things that are at nowadays standards. Let me put it in that line. And nowadays standards is not right. Would you still do it, knowing that they do some of those things that maybe to our view nowadays is not correct, could you separate the art from the people that does the stupidity? Could you pull yourself from that?
So as we've made this comment before, and you should remember me saying this, Corvo don't do stupid.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I wouldn't stop, but they might stop doing that shit for me, and someone else might get that opportunity.
Explain that, because that kind of went, whoa.
Okay, so what I mean is okay, this person does something that allows me to do what I do, right?
Yeah.
They're not the only person in the world that can do it. I don't have to stop. I can just stop using them because I'm not going to deal with stupidity.
Okay, so if you were a streamer and you didn't like what the company did, allegedly, wouldn't you just go to another platform and just keep on doing what you're doing?
Another platform. I mean, depends on what the function is that they provide me, but yes.
Okay. And me, I'm one of those people that like to proven guilty. I'm not gonna stop. Like until you prove to me that they did what they did or whatever you're alleging them to do.
And then that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I would have to know that they did it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I didn't know that they did it, I would go to somebody else.
So yeah,
like now, if I'm not presented with proof, innocent until proven guilty.
It's like I'm not gonna move my entire thing because most people know this out there. If you move from one, especially in the entertainment business, if you move from one platform to another platform, not everybody's gonna follow you. If anybody's gonna follow you, so you're taking a huge risk of people being interested to follow you. Like they have a brand loyalty. They have a trusted area. They have a comfort area. Like, hey, I like this space. I like this place. I know a lot of people here that I don't want to move over to another platform or whatever just because of one person. So,
right.
If anybody out there, if you've had that struggle before, like right now with OnlyFans, I don't know you know about this, but OnlyFans is the whole like the. Okay, let me just ask you this right out the back, just in case you. When you hear the words OnlyFans, what do you think of?
OnlyFans.
Be honest now. What do you think of when you hear the words OnlyFans?
Hot tub streamers.
AKA porn. Right? They're pretty much known for that. Well, right now, they are now going to be banning sexual entertainment from their platform because they're trying to go mainstream.
Okay.
Do you know what mainstream means when I say that? Like, I mean, let me ask that question. Okay, so for anybody out there that does not understand it, let me give a quick abbreviation here. Porn is not mainstream. They want stars. They want actors. They want musicians. They want big names that are safe for everybody. That's mainstream. Porn is not for everybody, and it's not big old stars. They're not big old brand names. They don't bring the brand. They just bring the body. They're putting it into that. And mostly because a lot of the credit card or money transactions don't want to take a risk because they also they're also being that if it looks bad at one place, it look bad at another place. So let's say I'm a credit card company and I have a business deal with Amazon. I have a business deal with YouTube. I have a business deal with Facebook, and I have a business deal with OnlyFans. Well, my business with OnlyFans reflects on the rest of the companies because they deal with porn. And they don't want that no more. And on top of it, apparently the refund rates of people buying into porn is so high, it's such a high risk of being refunded that a lot of companies don't want to take that risk, and I don't know if I can blame them. Like you're branding, you're losing your branding, you're making other companies look bad.
No,
maybe Christian
companies look bad.
Huh?
The only people that are looking bad are the stupid church people. That's basically what it's for. It's to classify them. They're trying to control all that shit. Not saying that shouldn't be allowed or that it should or not, but that's what's going on.
Oh, so you saying it's a religion thing?
It's a religious, political bullshit little stunt, and that's what it is.
Well, I hate to say this to you, Stealthy, but there's already been several people out there found out they're being pulled because of banks that are not religious.
Yeah. No, that's exactly why. Do you understand just how many people are religious in the U.S.?
Not many, because a lot of Christianity ideas and thoughts are getting pushed away.
The only one that looks down on porn, honey.
She's saying it's not just Christianity from a religious standpoint that.
See, you're misunderstanding. You're thinking Christianity is the only major religion. You're mistaking the fact that a good portion, Islam, Buddhism, there's a bunch of them, do not look well upon sexual acts at all. Especially not being out and about with your sexual acts.
And a lot of those things, a lot of those banks and such as that are run by numerous different people from different religions, and they don't want their companies associated with that kind of stuff.
A lot of those companies are international. Guess what? You do that in in a different nation that is not the U.S. What happens?
Okay, I get that.
Go to India. That's a big old no-no.
Okay, I get that. I'm about to say, like, a lot of them were always saying it was financial reasons.
No, they're gonna say that because they don't want to get caught in their bullshit.
So you don't think money is enough a factor to say is a risk branding?
If it was money, it would not be a factor. Think about how much money goes through OnlyFans. In fact, one of the 0.01% people was making $150,000 US a month.
Yeah, I saw a video for it, and it was saying they made around $2 billion, but the majority of that money actually went to the girls or the whatever you would call them, entertainers.
And that's my point.
Only 2% of the money went to OnlyFans.
Yeah, but still 2% of how much?
You also
$2 billion.
That the credit cards are getting quite a good percentage off of this because every time their card is slid, they get a percentage of that money back.
But they also get a lot of refunds because it's one of the highest risk of refunds in the industry.
But they have to prove it. And whether the credit card companies want to admit it or not, they have to go through a whole lot of bullshit hoops before they can refund that money.
Yeah, and they lose out a lot of money when they do refunds.
So it's bullshit. It's a chance of a refund, but not enough. That's just them trying to play we don't want to get in trouble card.
Look, I look at it like this. I get certain businesses not wanting to be associated with certain activities, but I also look at people should be allowed to make money to provide for themselves in the way that they can do it best. And if the only asset you got is strapped to your damn chest, and that's what feeds you.
But the biggest issue is they're selling their bodies, supposedly. That's the issue, right? No offense, everybody is selling their body.
Technically, you can't say they're selling their body. They're renting that shit out for 30 minutes at the time for you to view it. That's it.
Is your phone going off?
No.
Okay, I had a little crackling from there.
Think about this. How many times do you have to go to work? How much time do you take your body physically and use it to go to work?
Every day.
It's just people wanting to be.
Everybody is. If you're gonna say that is selling your body, everybody's selling their body. I sell mine 8 to 10 hours a day to Cleaver Brooks. Okay, so the way I look, you're not selling anything. At the most, you're renting your body for X amount of time at the time. Yeah, do you still take that thing home with you when you go home at night? Yes. You still got to be responsible for washing it and cleaning it? Yes. All right, you ain't sold nothing. You just rented out a little view.
Gotcha. But yeah, then some people also like, well, where they're gonna go now? There's other platforms out there, so they're really not gonna lose out. They just gotta move to another platform, and now they're gonna struggle to get people from there to the new platform and get them committed and get them, focus in on that side all over again. It's going to be a big old hassle for the entertainers.
Entertainers had somewhere safe. They had legal options with OnlyFans. They're not going to have that with the new site until that site puts them in place. That's what they're scared of.
Well, some of them are complaining on Twitter about they had to pay out more to be on that website if they get paid. Instead of 20%, it's 30%. But YouTube is 40% if you get paid on YouTube. So, like, you get even more money taken from you on YouTube. So I wouldn't complain about no 30% if that's my only place an option I got over what I used to have was 20%. So they're gonna be losing out on more money, but they're already making hundreds of thousands of dollars a week. So
Yeah.
I would just move. I would take my L and just move. Especially if I had a brand.
The fact that this isn't the first time it's happened.
Oh yeah, Patreon. Patreon was the first, well, at least as far as I'm aware. And Patreon put it into that the same reason. They literally said the same exact reason. Bank.
Pornhub did it first, but Pornhub went back to it.
What Pornhub did
And failed.
I'm about to say I never knew about that actually. I did not know that.
They fucked up with the name. That's what happened.
Yeah, the name Pornhub does not really give you like family friendly.
I know. They tried.
Yeah, that was quite hilarious. Pornhub is excising porn from their site. Say what now? Come again? Wait, that's bad choice of words.
Don't come again. We don't want you. We want kids to come here. No, you don't.
Oh man!
Of course, they always come back to the what about the kids? What about the kids? My thoughts is if your kids are on there, and you're a parent to that kid, you fucked up. That's all I'm gonna say. If your kid's on OnlyFans buying some OnlyFans stuff, and you ain't checking what he's donating to, you fucked up.
Yeah. Well, it's just like something that Stealthy brought up to me the other day from way back in the day, back when I was listening to good music. Like with the whole thing with Tipper Gore and the freaking Twisted Sister event and all that shit. I mean, they go out there, she gets her butt in a wound up because, she hears a song that her daughter's listening to, she don't like it. Because she is who she is, she gets old Al to get this shit in front of the what was it, Senate? In front of the Senate. Congressional Senate. They literally have a congressional hearing and have 3 musicians at the time. It was John Denver, the guy, the lead singer for Twisted Sister, and I can't remember who the other guy is, but anyway, they have them come in and sit down for this thing to try to justify why they didn't think there needed to be sensory labels put on music.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was upset that she didn't know that this song was on this thing and it was this sensitive, blah, blah, blah. Well,
to find out the song that she's referring to is about a guy having surgery.
Yeah, the funny thing was 2 of the artists come in dressed in suits. The guy from Twisted Sister comes in a Twisted Sister shirt, jeans, and his long flowing hair.
Oh, I saw this video. Go ahead and explain some videos.
They're thinking easy win, and he tears them a new one, for lack of a better term. Like, he tears apart Tipper's entire argument to the point that Al is stammering about his own wife's shit in front of everybody. Yeah, well, it's kind of like this, dude. You're seriously saying that you need these things when you could read the title of the song and look at the artwork on an album and tell. He's like, you see a pentagram with a goat heads in the middle of it. It's probably not for your child.
Mm-hmm.
You read the song lyric and it says, I'm going to cut your neck. It's probably not for your child. It's all over everything. The problem is you just didn't take the time to read it, and you want to blame me for your ineptitude of a parent. You just want something flashy to go, oh, it's red. She can't have that. No, why the hell do I want to make it any easier? Hell, I made the title of my song, I'll cut your freaking throat. You know?
Pretty
And they go off on,
self-explanatory.
and they go off on this thing about drugs and stuff, and the guy from Twisted Sister says, yeah, I see how I look, but do you know I've never drank alcohol, never done a drug, and I go to church every Sunday? Do you know that? No, you don't. Because you judge what you see when I'm performing as opposed to who I am.
On top of that, Twisted Sister actually has no drugs, no nothing, any sort.
And he goes on and on and on, and it's like, well, the guy Al tries to call him up about their fan club's name, because it has a lot of curse words in it. And he's like, well, I was under the impression by the way you presented yourself today, y'all are a good, wholesome group. How can you get behind your fan club's name like this? He's like, last time I checked, profanity wasn't outlawed by religion.
And on top of that, I can't decide what.
And he's like, and on top of that, the fan club decided their name, not the band. You know, he's like, I can't tell Joe Blow on the street that you can't be such and such fan club. I mean, hell, they come up with the name, not me.
Yeah, because again, people can't separate the person from the art. It's just
right.
It's just one of those things that is so people would just so connect together that you don't realize it's still a person behind that art. They could be completely separate from that art and be no the wiser.
I mean, yeah. I mean, just because certain people dress certain ways to perform the art that they're good at and care about doesn't mean that that's the same person they are when they get off the stage or when they stop their drawing or their painting or whatever it is that they do.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the case, I look at your stream and here you are, no eyebrows, bald head, and a blue beard. What kind of assumptions am I going to make?
Oh, I'm sure there's people out there that think I'm a clown or some sort.
Yeah. I mean, damn, that you know, if you're only going to judge on what you see and not take the time to understand who's doing it, then hell, you fucked up from the get-go. I mean, look at me. I have tattoos everywhere. I have long hair. I will have a goatee. I'm not the smallest built man in the world. How many people would expect that I do IT work every day, all day? Not a whole lot.
No.
I get that a lot. Hell, most of the new hires, when I walk in their cubicle to give them orientation, they're looking at me like, oh my God, please don't murder me. You know? It's just, it's people's first perception versus what is.
Yeah, and I can totally get behind that feeling all too well because I have plenty of people like the first perception of me has not always been so favorable, and also has sometimes been a detriment, and I've tried to like make that as little as possible, but it's really hard for me because I'm really outgoing, so I am not shy or anything at all. So
no, you don't reckon you not shy? Shit.
So and I you know, I hate that for someone out there be like, oh, I draw, you know, what do I do professionally? Oh, I draw porn. Like, but you probably would never realize like they're, you know, you know, kind, sweet-hearted person that never heard a fly in a soul that maybe have some, you know, Christian values behind them. That's just one part of their sins. Or they do it because, like you said earlier, it helps pay the bills. Like,
yeah.
Let me just be honest here. If you go on Twitter, it's all too true. You may see somebody on there with some amazing good work. And I know one for we talked about at the beginning of this before the stream. There's somebody out there that I love her art. But the way she gets most of her money though, the way she actually brings in the crowd of people, other than how it look good, she does porn versions of them as well. Why? Because she gets more money for it.
Right.
She knows she pulls in more.
Yeah. I mean, if you go, I can't remember when this was posted. It was some years back, but if you looked at a poll that they did some years back of of that type of an entertainer,
Mm-hmm.
you would find that when they were asked why they got into the business, almost 97% of them genuinely say, I don't do this because I like it. I do it because it pays the bills. You know?
I've heard some people say because it's the only skill I have. I'm like, only skill you
Well,
have?
I mean, I don't know about that part of it, but I will say that.
I mean, stupid. What do you expect?
Yeah, like there has to be more skills than just that. Like you can develop skills.
You are also forgetting the fact that a lot of jobs it depends on luck, who you know, and how you got there.
Also, we didn't do ourselves any favor when we started going through this whole mentality where if they don't have an educational paper saying they know how to do it, then we don't hire them.
Yeah,
because I mean, quite frankly, I know probably 30 people that are just as good at what I do, if not better, that could do my job that can't get a job doing it because they did not go to school for it.
I've always thought that was really annoying. Really annoying.
I mean, one of them sitting to my left over here, she could do what I do every day, all day.
Yeah,
no problem.
It's kind of like,
but she doesn't have the piece of paper, so
it's kind of like art. It's like, why do
I don't know Spanish because I don't have a piece of paper.
Yeah, but like for art, it's like, why would you need a piece of paper to be an art major? You can learn how to draw and do things yourself over life experience.
Well, the whole purpose of art, especially with painting and drawing, is to express yourself. So, wait, I have to have a piece of paper to teach me to express myself?
Yeah, and to be hired for that, it's like, you can learn to draw and express yourself and make cool things, but you need a degree in order to be hired for that? It's an art. You don't see a piece of paper for a dancer. You don't got a college for, a street dancer, but then again...
Not a street dancer, but any other major form of dancing that you make actual money at, yeah, you do now have to have a piece of paper.
I know, but that's just
expression. I could be the best ballerina in the world, but if I didn't go to Juilliard and have that piece of paper saying it, my ass ain't getting no jobs.
Yeah, that's true, and it's ridiculous. And of course, people forget why college and schools were made for. People learned it, they wanted to teach other people to do it, and they want to get paid for teaching what they learn.
That's another thing that is another thing that annoys the hell out of me, is now to be the person to teach someone, you have to also have a piece of paper. I'm like, but when this shit started, they didn't have no paper. They just taught people what they knew.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
But we gotta make sure you know what we know, and you have it, and we have a grade on you, grade system, because that really shows that you already know something. There's different forms of knowing, and I don't know.
Okay, books. You need to know that I know how to do it. Put it in front of me, let me fucking do it one time and show you, and then leave me the hell alone. Mm-hmm. Don't make me have to go through 2-4 years of hell on something I already know how to do.
And or make me spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and just to learn something that you probably...
I'm not saying that the education system isn't good for people that don't know how to do it and need to learn how to do it. But if you can prove by just doing it that you know how to do it, I think that should be good enough.
I just thought of something. I need a piece of paper to be a porn star. That's next.
Yep. Hey, wait. You didn't go to Pornhub VU, baby. I need to see your associate's degree in moaning.
Goodness gracious. And how to take up and how to show up your body that you let's just say, if you believe it or not, how God or life gave you. It's like, oh.
Wait. You're using too much bass in that moan. Come on. Bring it up a notch. Come on. Woo. A little bit more. There you go. Now we're getting somewhere.
Goodness gracious. Show me how to be a mammal.
Stealthy goes moo.
I don't know how to be animal. Me don't know how to procreate.
I don't have this sense that says there it is, hit
it. Girl comes to the classroom. Virgin alert. Oh God, we have a hard one today. Uh, so yeah, that's sorry we got off topic, but rants how that goes.
Oh, that's what makes us so lovable. We never stay on one thing for very long. We're just like those stars. We hop from place to place.
True. Anyways,
Oh.
thank you for all for coming tonight. Be sure to leave a comment out there. Please leave a comment down below. I'm looking at you, Anime. I'm looking at you, Lord Pestilence. Looking at you, Corvo Mama or Mama Corvo. Looking at you.
I know you're there.
Mama can't do it because Corvo Mama don't know how to use it.
She need to learn. Learn. My mom, you too. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts on the subject matters. Even if you're enjoying a part of this, things, your thoughts and your opinions. I don't care. Leave a like, leave a thumbs down. I don't care. Leave something and be sure to share it, please. Corvo, you have anything you want to leave out on before we end today?
No, but guys, all I got to say is cross your fingers that my part will be here sometime next week so I can have something pretty to show y'all soon.
Yeah, I hope I'll have my stuff going by this week. But yeah, I'll be live within an hour or so. I gotta go eat. So I gotta probably take my pets out because one of them is whining over here. I don't know if you've been hearing them or not. So if you want to catch that live stream, we'll be on twitch.tv/grumpybear. Just keep your eyes there, or if you want to you can make it easier, follow the description down below, Twitter. I'll probably post up on there if you don't have an easy way of finding me. And of course, follow Corvo on his Twitter page as well. And of course, follow him on the Twitch page if you ever want to see him his live streams, whether they be filming or maybe some dive resin. Hope you'll get that sometime soon. But as always, and of course, you can catch Stealthy F Jade on her twitch.tv/Stealthy F Jade whenever she goes live. As always, have a good day, have a good night, have a good life. Much love, y'all. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. 1, 2, 3, 4.